Life as an undercover narcotics officer isn't easy. Sometimes the temptation is too much to bear, and the filthy, crime-ridden streets get to you after a while, if you know what I mean. Each day it gets tougher and tougher to walk a straight line. All too often that line gets blurred, it gets butchered, and I find myself asking, should I walk the line or should I cross it?
All right, Wayne. You're basically every kid's parents' worst nightmare, aren't you?
I'm my own parents' worst nightmare, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about NARC, the game that you've been producing. Sort of give people a rundown of basically what we're talking about here.
Okay, well, NARC is a game about two narcotics officers, Jack Frzensky and Marcus Hill, one-time partners who had a parting of ways because while they were on the force together, Jack actually became addicted and Marcus got pissed off and went and joined the DEA. They've been brought back together. There's a new drug on the street called Liquid Soul, and they've been brought back together unwillingly to try and track down what is Liquid Soul and where does it come from and shut it down. So
that's the basics. And now this is technically a remake of...
It's based on the '88 arcade game of the same name, NARC. That was a fast action high scroller, and obviously bringing it to the next generation platforms. We wanted to give it a full 3D environment and a fully realized city life. So we've actually got two cities and another level in the game. Rockland, which is the city where you start out at, an Asian city called Kowloon City, and then eventually you go to Mr. Big's island lair to take him down and get rid of Liquid Soul.
The most important question is probably, is there a giant floating head still?
No, something. There is a left turn at the end. It's not the floating head, but it won't leave fans disappointed, I don't think.
Cool. Now, a press is going to have a field day with this game. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. How are you guys sort of preparing for that, or are you even worrying about it? Are you just sort of going out there and this is a game about drugs, and you take drugs in the game?
You do. We are a mature rated game. We know that this game is for adults. It's not for kids. And I've got younger nephews and nieces, and they're not playing the game. They want to, and they're not allowed to. It's definitely a mature rated game, and that's the intention. Obviously, playing a narcotics officer, drugs are in the environment. It's that's the nature of the job. Just like in most games, you pick up a weapon, that weapon goes in your inventory, and you can use the weapon. With the drugs, we realized that once it was in your inventory, what do you do with it? So we do allow the player to take it back to the police department and turn it back in as evidence, or they can play the bad route and they can sell it or even take the drug. But taking the drugs actually has effect. It has long-term consequences. There is a short-term effect that the drug may impact the way the game is played, but that only lasts about 30 seconds. But all the drugs in the game are addictive, and if you become addictive, you can actually you can pass out and lose all your inventory. You can be kicked off the NARC squad and cannot progress through the game until you get yourself back on the NARC squad. You take health hits, so there are definitely consequences. Additionally, we don't ever force the player to take a drug. There's never a situation in the game that you can't get past this door without taking a drug to kick it down. You can't there's never a time where they have to do it. You can play through the entire game and never touch a drug and be 100% reputation badge rating and never have to use them. So
but that's not very much fun.
Honestly, I don't use them when I play the game because I play it 40 hours a week, so I can get through the game without using them, but I think people will be interested in seeing what the effects are and what do drugs look like in a video game. So I think
let's talk about that because you had like the weed time or whatever, right? So everything kind of slows down.
Right. Weed time basically slows the world down, but allows you to still aim in real time, so you can get better shots on people. Crack actually makes you a crack shot. So it's basically one-shot kills. Speed, obviously, it speeds the player up, so they run through the city, although the rest of the city's moving normally. And LSD basically puts devil heads on the bad guys and jester heads on the good guys, so you can differentiate between the two. And Liquid Soul basically is a brawling drug. It allows you to knock people out with one punch. So the effects aren't realistic. I mean, we're not trying to recreate exactly what a drug does to people. They're very kind of tongue-in-cheek, obviously with a crack shot, but they do have an impact on the players' behavior.
And so what happens specifically though when you're addicted, or how is it? What are those sort of long-term bad effects?
Basically, once you become addicted, you'll see an addiction meter come up on screen and it'll fill up. Once it's full, You basically have about 5 seconds to either take the same drug to knock it back down, but it'll rise faster. Or there's a drug in the game called protodone, which will immediately get rid of the addiction, but it's a very expensive drug, so you're going to have to spend good money on that. If you actually get past that, if you don't do one of those things, you'll go into withdrawal, and you physically have to fight your withdrawal. You'll see the players struggle with their addiction, and you basically have to keep a green arrow in the meter. The more addicted you are, the smaller the areas that you have to keep the arrow. If you fail, you'll actually pass out and again lose all your inventory and be forced to basically start over with no inventory. So there are some very bad consequences to being addicted. We also have what we call cold turkey, which is if you are addicted and fail 3 times, we figure that players paid enough by losing their inventory 3 times, being placed somewhere randomly in the city 3 times, that we just said the players gotten through it just through complete cold turkey, and then they're clean from that point on.
Right. Now, did you guys do any field research? Did you actually go out there and see what it's like to be a narcotics officer, or are you guys just going with?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of going with it's a game, and we games like military games, you need a technical advisor because you're going for uber realistic situations. We're not, we're not trying to recreate, exactly, the exact world of a narcotics officer, so we didn't really do that much research for it.
So. And you've got some pretty high-end voice talent.
Yeah, we've got
really
great voice talent.
Add to the game. The video you guys showed was hilarious.
Yeah, Bill Bellamy is fantastic as Marcus. He did a great job, and he's a big game player, and he loved it. He sat down and played it, and was just super excited about it. Michael Madsen as Jack. Just doing Michael Madsen. I mean, he's just got such a great voice. We've got Ron Perlman as Captain Kowalski, who is your mission giver in the USA level, and he's also kind of a father figure to Jack. And Michael Wincott is just one of the most unique voices out there, doing Mr. Big, and he was fantastic as well. So they really add, professional voice talent really helps add to a game, and they did a fantastic job.
Why do you think these kinds of games are so appealing right now to sort of covering the youth culture or something that's sort of street culture? You're seeing a lot of this in the whole Grand Theft Auto thing. And
I think obviously with hip hop, with the NBA, it's definitely something that all across America, all across the world, people have an interest in it, and so I think it gives them a chance to kind of play it and do things that obviously games are made to do things that we can't do in real life. Right. So I think it just gives people a chance to experience something that they may not get a chance to experience otherwise. Yeah, the game comes out in first quarter 2005 for both PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and I think it's a lot of fun to play right now, and it's only going to get better. So it's going great.